We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube. Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show.
Technical difficulties. I hit mute on it.
Good.
Whatever. We started like this. We're going to start like this, man. It's your boy Shad Talks Grabs. We are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. We got to talk about Monday Night Raw, man. It was a jam-packed show. I'm here with Dez and Jordy. I forgot this is how Ben does it now. So we are going to follow suit and go with that new intro. And this was one of them episodes, man. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and a WrestleMania match was set up last night. We'll talk about that at the very end. Obviously, we had a big-time women's championship match. We also got to talk about the Ring General Gunther and Oba Femi making a crazy debut on Monday Night Raw in the main roster. Let's get through a couple comments, and then I kind of want to just get right into it. We got the homie DCX Warlord saying, Happy Tater Tuesday and Toxic Tuesday. Yes, 2 times Tuesday for me today. We'll be on off the air, and it is a Tatum Tuesday as usual. We love our Tatum Tuesdays. It is also National Take a Cruise Day. Wow, I missed the memo on that one. I could go for a cruise. And then, of course, we got Fernando Zayas saying Happy Tuesday, WR crew. And, man, let's get right into it, guys, because we got to talk about the big match that happened last night. Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez. This is something that's been brewing for a little bit. These ladies have had to tussle with each other quite a few times, and they had themselves a Philadelphia street fight last night. I thought this was a very good match. I thought it was entertaining, physical, a few botches here and there, but the main gist of it is kind of the ending. Obviously, Raquel telling Liv, hey, stay back. I got this. I'm going to handle this on my own. Liv coming in, trying to help her out, passing her the title. It backfires on her. Her and Roxanne are not able to help Raquel get the win. Stephanie prevails and is still champion. To me, this is I really thought Raquel was possibly going to win last night just because of Liv's Royal Rumble win and the storyline that is coinciding within there. But Stephanie Vaquer retains it. I'm not completely upset about it. I'm curious to see what the direction is going to be. I'm curious to see who Liv picks. It may be Vaquer, maybe the end game is Raquel turning on Liv. I'm not entirely sure, but I can say for certain there is turmoil in the Judgment Day between the Judgment Day girlies. I want to ask y'all though, man, what are your thoughts on the match, obviously, and everything that's kind of building in within this storyline? I'll start with you, Jordy.
I mean, I actually agree with you on this, Shad. Believe it or not, I was pretty convinced Raquel was going to win last night, for the exact same reasons as you. I just thought Liv wins the Rumble, Raquel wins the title. We have friction, we have heat within the Judgment Day. That is, as you perfectly said, it's there regardless of whether Raquel's got the title. There's certainly a little bit of turmoil. It is reminiscent of other times when we've seen this with the Judgment Day. I want to say with either Finn or Priest when he told people to stay back in his title shots and they come down and they end up costing it. It is kind of a done thing. We've seen it before, but I was convinced that Raquel was going to win last night. But like you, I'm not annoyed that Steph still got the title. Steph and Liv could put on a banger of a match at Mania. No doubt about that. I just don't know if we're going to have to build to that. And like you said, maybe Raquel kind of turning on Liv at Mania is the payoff. But yeah, it did intrigue me. One thing that I did think last night, though, and because of the way that the Judgment Day has moved and has kind of formed different shapes, different teams throughout, I was looking at who's in the current Judgment Day, and I just thought to myself, I can see a time when Roxanne is running the show. And I don't know if that's maybe the end game that Liv and Raquel are going to spin off or something, but I think the Judgment Day might actually be one of them factions that we see passed on through time, passed on through members, and I kind of do hope that at some point in time Roxanne takes the throne of the Judgment Day and starts pulling the strings, because I just think it'd be great for her character, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for her to kind of lead a faction, even if it is the case of she gets rid of the blood and she brings in some people from NXT. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but yeah, that's just something I'd like to see in the future. But with Raquel losing last night, I the way that Liv held that belt up at the end, I'm pretty sure she's going to go for that one, right? Surely.
For sure. I think it is too. I can't see in any way that she goes against Jade for her belt. But to your point, I'm actually very curious. So like, you kind of want it to be like similar like to like a Bullet Club adjacent, right? Where they kind of switch up members every
yeah, something like that. We just see how it's been passed on. I mean, it seems like an absolute age since it was Edge and it was Edge that started it, and it has moved and changed shape throughout. I mean, we had the whole bit where R-Truth was a part of it, but he wasn't, and then Carlito had his little stint in there. I do think it is something that Bullet Club is something that WWE have wanted to, or something Bullet Club like is something that they will have wanted to get their hands on for a long time. And I don't think it's the same right now, but I think it might subtly over, and if they do it for another couple of years, people are going to look back and be like, damn, this has been going for a long time and has had a lot of members.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's something that you could definitely, if you book it well enough and it garners people's interest for a faction, it definitely is possible. But to your point, obviously, look, Liv and Vaquer to me is a Mania match on paper. Like, I think Liv is a very underrated in-ring worker. I think she is someone that is so good as a character and has garnered so much popularity that sometimes you forget what she's capable of doing once the bell rings and giving the matches that she's given. And then Stephanie Vaquer, I think she's bell for bell, maybe behind like an Io and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, maybe Charlotte Flair you could put up there as well. One of the top 5 women that can go in the ring, right? She's as fluid as they are, and I would love to see them wrestle. I guess my thought process was more so, like we were talking about earlier, was just the fact that there's that storyline, and there's a bit of a disconnect for Stephanie Vaquer on the main roster thus far. And I'm not saying it's like to a point where she's getting crickets. Obviously, she's somewhat over in her own regard. People go crazy once the Devil's Kiss is done. But to me, it's a little bit like, okay, but like there's more to her. And I don't know how you can flunk getting somebody like her over, because she kind of just writes herself, right? To me, I feel like the positions of storylines and whatnot, it hasn't done her due diligence just yet. And I'm curious, and obviously a lot of people were talking about this last night, while we got number one Superfly first and foremost saying, while the women's championship match was great, my big issue was, I'm certain everyone else can agree that Stephanie Vaquer getting that Death Rebel treatment. They did change her song yesterday. DCX also noting RIP her theme. The theme song is the bread and butter to me. I mean, we're seeing people get over in that direction. When you make a altering decision to change the theme, I mean, it did sound pretty generic. And, I give Death Rebel their kudos when they cook. That's one that they did not cook. And I thought the, guitar riff in the old song and how the horns kind of came through on the Titantron set the tone for her. But it's going to be interesting. But Dez, I want to know your thoughts, man. Do you think the right winner was made last night? And what do you think the direction is going in with this whole Judgment Day circle and Liv going into Mania?
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've mentioned like a few months that I felt like Raquel Liv was like set in stone. That was going to be the match. You had Raquel. She was attacking Stephanie like any chance she had. So it just seemed that way. And then once Liv won the Rumble, I felt like we were all in agreement, right? I don't know. I was before Raw started. I had that like little small feeling on my gut, like, you know what? I feel like everybody thinks Raquel's gonna win, that Stephanie is gonna win. And honestly, the match was great. By the way, I thought the match was really good. It was physical and it was pretty violent at times. Honestly, the whole table spots and the Devil's Kiss on the steps as well. That was pretty violent. But I do want to say it kind of reminds me of Roman and Punk. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of like everything seems so telegraphed, right? Where everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Cody Roman, it's going to be Liv and Raquel, but then you get Liv and Stephanie, and you're like, yeah, why not, right? Liv and Stephanie, that would be a good WrestleMania program. Well, let's do it then. And I agree with it. I do think Liv is going to choose Stephanie Vaquer. And honestly, I think it's the right choice. I know there was a story there with like Raquel and Liv, which is why, I was like so certain it was going to happen. But I feel like if you really take Stephanie out of there, I'm not really sure what's next for her at the WrestleMania card. So at least this like gives her a championship match, and it also opens the door for a potential heel turn.
No doubt. And here's my reasoning and my thought process after last night. I let it simmer. I think they need to extend Liv and Raquel's turmoil till past Mania. I think this needs to be a Batista moment for Raquel Rodriguez. I see the potential in her. I think that you have something culminating in that woman as a big time star. I think her presentation has been better. I think her confidence has really been the thing that's sticking out. And I don't have any issues with Vaquer and Liv going into Mania. I think for Stephanie, losing the belt last night, it could have been done just because it would have been a dope crowning moment for Raquel. But they got a lot of stock into her, and they got a lot of investment. Right. And I would not feel right for her to kind of just get the title off of her so abruptly without giving her a legitimate chance. Now, when it comes to Mania, I don't know. I don't know what the winner's going to be. It could go either direction. It could go Raquel makes the turn there, or if they're smart, have Liv win and then potentially set that up for like a SummerSlam or whatever it may be. There's a couple directions you can go in for that. But to me, like, this is going to have to – Raquel and Liv is going to extend for a better part of this year. Like,
I agree.
It can't happen at Mania for sure. And it's smart for the most part. I do think Liv winning the Rumble makes sense because the Judgment Day girls kind of run Raw at this point when it comes to storylines if you're not Becky Lynch. And Becky's obviously tied up as the Intercontinental Champion. So to that, I mean, everybody else is in a tag team. I've been saying that for the longest time. It's a little difficult when your two biggest stars are a tag team together. Right. And then that follows suit with other people like Lyra, Bayley, Asuka, that you got to try to move some other people up. And I hope it does work for all of the girls in the Judgment Day. I think it will. I know a lot of people are a little tired of the storyline, and I'm a little tired of it too at times. It can get a little bit long-winded, but I'm holding in and waiting to see what the end result should be. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens, man. It should be interesting. But let's get to the next topic because we got to talk about the ring general, the career killer. Actually, my bad, not the ring general. The career killer Gunther entered into the arena last night. Pump fake. AJ Styles, man, had the ugliest form of the thing. Playing the music, man, just continuing this parade he's having on just ending careers from Goldberg to Cena to AJ Styles. And he gets confronted and attacked by a familiar foe with AJ Styles, his last tag team partner, tag team champions that they were, Dragon Lee. And Dragon Lee, man, he out the gate came swinging, man. Dragon Lee's so talented as an in-ring wrestler. If y'all don't know, don't let the WWE make you think less of him. I swear to God, that boy can wrestle his ass off. Went ahead, do what he got to do, but Gunther just crucifying him, bro. Having that boy hanging from the ropes and, is the last man standing there. To me, it seems like this might be a little bit of a short program between them. I'm really curious to see what the direction is for Gunther going into Mania because we did the little exercise on Sunday for Sunday Fun Day, and I had a hard time picking and choosing who he would go against at Mania, because I don't know if we're continuing this road to ending careers, but like whose career is to be ended next, right? Like, are we sure Orton wants to retire soon? I don't know. Lesnar, are we sure he wants to retire soon? I don't know. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something interesting, because I think if I was personally writing, I like it now. I'm gonna say that first and foremost, but I feel like you need to keep that heat on him, because this guy literally beat the face of your entire company for the existence of the company in December. Like, he should be in some sort of top position. But obviously, Jordy, I know you have a strong opinion towards him. You are not a huge fan of Gunther, but what did you think about the segment last night and everything that's kind of going with him?
I need to say one thing, because a lot of people think that my dislike for Gunther, that's even harsh. People think that it's all because he retired Cena, and it's not. If you go back and listen to a podcast from a year ago, I've always been saying that Gunther needs better booking, and I'm here again saying it. However, I will hold out a little bit, because it's a week after he retired AJ. I will give them the heat was pretty. It was pretty loud last night, right? The booing was pretty loud, as loud as we've heard it since the week after he beat Cena and retired Cena. My worry then and my worry now is how long are we gonna drag that? And because obviously what happened after he retired Cena was he just kept coming out saying the same thing, getting the same heat off different crowds because they travel, but it was the same things he was saying. I just hope they've got a better vision for him than that. I hope they really do. Like you said, the Mania match. I don't know who it's against right now. I think that there would have been an opportunity, because obviously people wanted to see Gunther versus Brock, but like right now, I don't know if that's the match. I just really don't know. I feel like they slightly are booking themselves into a corner by making him the career killer, because you now assume that any time he wrestles on a big occasion, he's going to end a career. And like you said, number one, I don't want him to do that to anybody else. And number two, I don't know who is quite at that point. So his direction for Mania right now, if I was, and I do feel slightly bad for Gunther, because I feel like he's been given these huge moments, right? These huge notches on the bedpost, like retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles, retired Goldberg, but then not much substance after that to really like, and then I did this, and because we all know that it was maybe 2 weeks that we got for Cena Gunther, and there wasn't really a build. They never really saw each other face to face beforehand because of the farewell tour or whatever. We found out he won the tournament. We had the match. It didn't really feel like a great build. AJ and Gunther had a slightly better one, I guess, in hindsight, because we actually got a match. We actually got a bit of face-to-face interaction, but again, not a long build, and it ended. So because of that, there's an inability to care and really dislike Gunther, I feel. I feel like a lot of the heat has gone towards Triple H, and we've seen that in post shows and when he came down to the ring after Cena retired and stuff. So I don't know. I'm worried for Gunther. I just hope that they can capitalize on two monumental careers that he's killed. So fingers crossed. But yeah, I don't know where he's going for Mania.
Yeah, I don't know the direction he's going for Mania as well. Like you mentioned, I think all your points are pretty valid to that point. But I say this, man. There's nothing. If there's one thing that, and I'm not saying you're saying it, but there's one thing I can't doubt on him. This is maybe more towards Ben. Is that man's just so good as a bad guy. Like, he has a character work that is so cocky that I love it personally. I've always rooted for the bad guy, but he's got that heel, a-hole personality to a T. And like just yesterday, just coming out with the pump fake, soaking in the boos and yell, like the chants from the fans. It's so good. And to me, like, I just my hope is that they ride this and they let him become a champion or whatever it may be, and he builds himself to the top guy in the company, because I think he's got the potential to be the top guy in the company, given, the right push. And to me, it seems like they do have that confidence in him. I mean, I always go back to Unreal. Like, Hunter has such high regards to him and such faith and comfortability where he lets him like, yo, I trust you to quarterback whatever match it may be. I got the utmost confidence that you're going to be able to do what you do and get the best out of it when he was doing the McAfee stuff. And he's got dude, he can have a match with Goldberg's old ass. He can have a match with an announcer, and then he can have a banger with AJ Styles, and then have a banger with John Cena. Like, he's kind of he's kind of like a Tim Duncan to me, right? Like, he's good at everything.
He used the ring bell last night as well, which I like to see. I've not seen that in quite a long time. So, yeah, man, he's in his bag when he's doing this stuff, and that's something as well that I want to get across in my voice. I've said it online on threads and stuff like that. But like, any criticism I have for Gunther's booking is because of my love for Gunther, and know that he can actually. I feel like it's not because I don't think he deserves to be in that position. It's because I think he deserves more in that position, and I hope that they've got a vision for him going forward, not just we don't know what to do with him, so let's just keep him retiring people, because he deserves better, because like you said, he's one of the best the company have got right now.
No doubt, man. I hear what you're saying, bro. You're mad because he made John Cena tap out.
You got me. I'm just mad about it.
I'm messing around. Let's get through a couple comments. DCX Warlord is saying unpredictable WrestleMania. That's what makes WrestleMania fun, bro. When it is, when you don't know what's gonna happen. The beauty is on a Sunday Fun Day, everybody kind of had like a way different. There was a couple like similar matches, but there was a lot of different matches and whatnot. So I mean, that's the fun of it, is just kind of see what they're gonna go with. Number one Superfly is saying Gunther is not only retiring people, but he's also trolling people. Brilliant. Do you believe Gunther's segment yesterday is leading to Rey Mysterio versus Gunther at Mania? Dez, I mean, I'll kick it to you for this one real quickly. What do you think?
Yep, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yep, I think it's going to lead to Rey versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't really know if that's like, nothing against Rey because Rey's a legend, but I don't really know if that's like a big match. But I do feel like that's what they're going towards, because I think Gunther's going to beat Dragon Lee. He's probably going to face Penta at one point. Mysterio's going to come out. He's going to have the whole underdog, story. Obviously, that's how he's been his whole WWE career. He's always been the underdog, and I feel like I think that's where the direction's heading. Although, I don't know, because I also thought Dirty Dom was going to retire Rey Mysterio. So, but if the way things are going, I think Gunther might be the one.
So there's a difference between retiring and career ending, right? So, like, to me, I would also use Gunther in a strategy to, like, if you got someone that's going to, like, let's say, for instance, right? Let's say Ciampa, they knew that he was going to dip out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrestle Gunther, let him massacre him, and write him off, and then he's gone, right? Like kind of what they did to Ricochet with the Braun Breaker segment. Like you could even do a situation like that, like I ended your career, because ultimately that's what I think is going to happen to AJ Styles. I know a lot of people. I'm on Team Clark here, and I've been saying it for a minute. I think he's going to wrestle for another company. I don't think he's ending his wrestling career. Yeah. So once you see him on Wednesdays, make sure to tune in where the sickos reside.
That'd be something, man. If it does happen. If it happens, I'll sing Kumbaya with all you guys.
Gunther is going to retire Cass. Frankie Kazarian. I will tell you this. That is definitely not a career that he's going to end. TNA will end his career. Like, they'll probably, like, get him, like, shoot him with a shotgun or something like that. He's crazy. Rey Mysterio is next for Mania. It says wrestling overtime. And then DCX also says if he retires Rey, then Dom is going to unleash... Yeah, that'd be interesting. That could be a good way to get. Dom could go babyface that way,
could
right?
lead to, wait, I don't know. It all depends with Finn, because maybe that could lead to the IC. Well, Gunther's already won the IC title, though. That's why it's kind of like...
Because, like, he calls his dad a deadbeat and stuff, and that's absolutely right. And we all know that he genuinely feels that. However, seeing him choked out, I think that might, it's still your dad. Do you know what I mean? Especially if Dom has always been like, I'm going to be the one that's ended his career. That adds another layer. I'm ready to cheer for Don, and I have been for a minute since I shaved my moustache off, and then he turned on me again. So we'll see. 2 years in the 2 years in the making.
It lives forever on the intro. I'll tell you that much.
It's great.
Yeah, it's back now.
But let's get to the next topic, man, because we had a debut on the main roster. Oba Femi BTA on the War Raiders last night. Now, let me say this real quick. Oh, my gosh. How am I supposed to take the War Raiders serious? How am I supposed to take those guys, like, legitimately as a threat for any tag team title? No disrespect to them. Oba Femi is a dominant guy, and last night was the right choice because if you want to make sure he looks like a threat, why not just completely mollywop 300+ pound guys that are a tag team? But that is a thing that benefited one superstar a whole lot, and that completely destroyed a tag team. Because to me, I don't know what y'all do. You're nowhere. You're not sniffing the Usos for that belt. You're not even going towards the MFTs for their belt. Like, no, I don't want to see that because I seen y'all get mollywopped by one person. Why would I see you want to wrestle two people? You're just perennial losers at that point. Nonetheless, I thought this was fun. I don't know where Oba is going to go, but I know he needs to go to the moon because he's the next big star on that company. But Dez, I want to know your thoughts on everything that happened yesterday as Jordy does a strut.
As he should. This was the right call. Like, nothing against the War Raiders, but I feel like that they've already been a tag division. They've had their tag titles. It's just Oba's time, man. They got to make Oba into a beast because he's not just $1 million. He was $1 million in NXT. He is $1 billion in the WWE main roster. The guy's he is figuratively a monster, but everything about him just speaks aura. His presentation, the way the crowd says Oba, the way he does the strut, his wrestling. He can talk on the mic. He's believable. He is such a good pillar to move forward for the future of WWE. And honestly, he should be in the same caliber of like Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar came into the WWE in 2002, he made an instant impact. And that's the same exact one that Oba Femi needs to do. He has to go on an absolute tear. The only thing is, I don't really want him going through every single tag team on Raw because you don't want to kill the Raw tag team division. So you definitely want to throw in some mid-carders there. It's just tough because you want to give guys to Oba that have some value. But at the same time, if Oba's beating everybody, then there really is no value.
For sure. And this is a comment right here. They have history. They wrestled a match on NXT that was 9 minutes and 54 seconds.
It's a lot of history.
Right? That's a history. That's a decent time match. I remember that. But he just beat him and his boy down, 2 years later in the manner of a couple minutes. If he used to wrestle those two, I would do a handicap match. He needs to beat them in under 5 minutes.
Agreed.
It needs to be a glorified squash. We've set the bed. This is what needs to be made. The War Raiders to me are similar to a situation where I saw Ciampa and other people. I don't think they have a lot of like shelf life in the WWE. They tried to do something with them. It ain't work. It didn't. They did what were they, the Viking experience or some dumb stuff like that before. Main roster don't take them serious, man.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I agree about the Viking Raiders not being put in that position because it's a bad, or the War Raiders, sorry, they're not being put in that position because it's not a great position to be in. Who would you have put in that position to get squashed by Oba? Because there is like the ideal one if Elton Prince wasn't injured, like that's your pretty deadly spot, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I don't know right now. I don't know who else could have been in that spot to just look like a complete, because I don't want to do it to the Judgment Day. We had too many times of doing that. I don't
maybe
know.
Like an enhancement talent or like what do they call them? Local competitors. I mean, you know who it should have been. So this is the thing. You know who it should have been. It's the guys who won the tag team #1 contender last week. So you can't make it them. That's the Alpha Academy spot. Right
but
here.
they've already done that. You know what I mean?
True. I kind of would have done it differently as well if I was doing it with the War Raiders. I would have just had it's Ivar versus Oba. Oba flattens him, and then we get an interference and then Oba flattens him again, rather than it looking like you've just taken on two at the same time. And you know what I mean? I would have had it one by one, take out the backup, and they're still both left in the ring. But
here's
tricky one.
the thing. I don't think it was the wrong team that did it. I agree. I just want people to. I want to let people know that there's a lot of people that are upset that it's them, and I get it. They're talented. I remember the stuff that they did in Ring of Honor like it was yesterday. I remember the stuff that they did in Black and Gold NXT. They're a hell of a tag team. They just aren't working in the WWE main roster sphere. Like, that's just the harsh reality. Some guys are able to connect to it. Some guys are not able to connect to it. It's been years. There's nothing. They tried to do it last year. They had some banger matches, and ultimately nobody cares after that. And that's just what it is. So you have people in position that you look, man, it ain't easy, yo, but this is how you book as a producer. This is why I am cutting Triple H a lot of slack to people that are criticizing him, because now I think we're overly criticizing him. Obafemi needs to be booked as a main event guy. He looks really good beating up 2 300-pound dudes by himself. And this is completely the right direction to go. It does sacrifice those guys in the long term of booking, but like you mentioned, like, what are they doing really? They're not doing much.
There's more tag teams too.
I would have them take out the motor. Can we not have them do that to the Motor City Machine Guns?
Triple A, bro. They pay him a little too much money, man. They pay him a little too much money to get squashed like that. So
yeah, true. True.
So why you want Ricky Saints to get beat up? He lost to Ricky Saints.
Damn,
unless you're talking about the that
guy Ricky. Yeah,
Ricky.
The other guy Ricky. He would have won. That's why I didn't put him.
Fair shout. Yeah. Ricky had a squashed over.
Exactly.
Ricky
would have took his spot. Exactly. All right, guys. Let's talk about our presumably main event for WrestleMania that was just given to us on a nice silver platter last night. Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. Acknowledge him while you can. Little ones up. Choosing CM Punk. Such a good promo exchange between these guys, man. They dug deep into all the history that is tied within them, from the upbringing of the Shield to Punk, his departure, his infamous podcast interview with Colt Cabana, everything that went on with Survivor Series, Paul Heyman, like, just so much was unpacked there. And Roman ultimately said, I'm picking you not because I want titles, because I hate you. I want to beat, I want to punch your snot box, bro. Like, it's done. It's curtains for you. And this is it. This is literally what Mania is all about, man. You need to give us a match that is going to put butts in seats. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns ultimately puts butts in seats. And I've been saying this for the longest time. The belt means something when that man is in the title picture. I hope everybody knows that. The reason that belt that Cody was having and that he lost to Cena and won back, now it belongs to Drew, meant anything is because that man held that belt for all those days. Roman Reigns is the main character in the WWE. He is the top dog in the WWE. And now this belt feels like something. Now this belt weighs a little bit more than that belt. How does that happen, huh? This is incredible, man. I'm excited for it. This needs to be the night 2 main event. Nothing needs to alter here. Please do not add Cody Rhodes to it. Do not add anyone to it. Don't add Seth to it. Let these two go one-on-one, and let's see who is the real biggest dog in the yard. But guys, am I overrating this, or you guys got equal excitement? Jordy, I see you nodding your head, man. Talk to me.
Man, I've been excited for this match since the moment we saw the watermark come up at Survivor Series, and then we heard the static and CM Punk walked out. And I think I was quite vocal last year about not being entirely satisfied with the triple threat. I felt like, especially with Punk saying that he main evented Mania because I believe that night 2 is the main event, right? And I think you're right. I think this will main event night 2. These two have an ability to tell a story. They kind of don't even need to try because we know the history, but they're both so good when they're in the bag and when they're doing this and when they're cutting a promo that it feels so perfectly scripted in a sense that they say the right things, but it just at the same time feels natural. Calling him Phil, just you know what I mean, little things like that. And bringing up the Shield. Anytime Punk says to any of the Shield that like you're here because of me, you know it's just like there's a little bit behind them that's like, oh, that must hurt. So I'm excited. I think this is the only choice for Roman. Obviously Drew's got going on what he's got going on with Cody and Jacob and stuff like that. So this match, it is the one for me, and I totally agree. I hope Seth doesn't get involved. I hope nobody gets involved. I hope we just get to see two of the best do what they do on the grandest stage of them all. Roman last night was looking a little bit more like the tribal chief with some of the things that he was saying. The tribal chief that we used to boo. I don't know if we're going to be able to get anybody to boo Roman. I don't know what you're going to have to do at this point because he's so loved. I think you're absolutely right, Shad. Like, Cody is the QB1, and I get it. And yeah, he's the one that goes around everywhere and stuff. But Roman's, I think that's why they put 1 at the end of OTC 1. Because I don't like the way it sounds, but I think it's just a reminder to everyone that, like, all right, yeah, Cody's the quarterback, but Roman's still and always will be the tribal chief. And the pops that he gets, that it's just he does define aura. And CM Punk is so good at selling a story. I'm a Roman guy, but when Punk was talking about all the countries that he's been to and all that, I'm like, do you know what? Like, you make a very compelling argument, Phil. Still want you to get beat, but like, I'll be a bit sadder when it happens. So yeah, I'm hoping Roman Punk, and I want Roman to win.
No doubt. And the thing is this though, the difference between a Cody and a Punk is like I compare Cody more to like what Seth does. Like, he's the company guy. He does the, you know, interviews and stuff like that, the media things. He's present on a week-to-week basis, but like Roman is just the definite star.
Yeah,
and that's the difference between him and those guys. Punk is also a relatively bigger star than those guys as well. Like, yeah. Punk to me is like he's got like a fan base like Kanye West has fan bases, right? Like, ironically, they're both from Chicago, and people just like love everything about him. Like, we were waiting for him to come back to pro wrestling. He's a big reason why there was a high volume of fans tuning into AEW when he went in there, right? Mm-hmm. So that man these are the two biggest male superstars in the company going against each other. That's no disrespect to Cody, Seth, none of them. But like I said, man, like you can't just don't touch it. You set it up so good last night. Let it play itself out for the next 2 months, and you got yourself your big time match. But Dez, I want to know your thoughts, man, and then we'll read a couple comments and go home after this.
All right, sounds good. I will say I was so certain that WrestleMania 42 was going to be Cody Rhodes and CM Punk because of their 2 promo segments they had. They had one before the Rumble. I think 2 times had before the Rumble, and I was so sold on it, right? And I'm like, Roman and Seth, I do still feel like Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins needs to happen at WrestleMania. It's going to be one of those moments where you never had John Cena, Randy Orton one-on-one at WrestleMania, you never had John Cena, Edge one-on-one at WrestleMania, and I feel like that's one they got to do. But last night's promo, it like opened your eyes, and you're like, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, like, yeah, let's do Roman Reigns, CM Punk, but then they just elevated it up to like 1,000. I agree with you guys. This should be the main event of night 2. Like, I will say they didn't bury Drew, but they were dogging on Drew the whole time. That's why I was like so on edge about McIntyre beating Cody Rhodes, because it just felt like no matter what, like Roman and Punk, they're gonna take night 2 of Drew's champion, right? And honestly, unless they do maybe even like if they do Cody, Fatu, and Drew, I still don't think that's enough to be the main event of night 2 because of how good this segment was. So many people were like upset that Roman Reigns won the Rumble because he's a part-timer and whatnot. All it took was one segment to change their mind. Now, I still agree with that. I still feel like, we should have had a lot more of like a guy like Oba, a Trick to be in a Rumble longer. But Roman Reigns, like you guys mentioned, he is box office. He is aura. From where he was, and I'm going to be real with you guys, I was really never a big fan of Roman Reigns. I felt like he was a corporate bootleg John Cena that was shoved down our throats, and that was the same line that was said by John Cena during that promo against Roman. But ever since he came back, bringing this tribal chief character, it has been an absolute renaissance. Honestly, you could make a legit argument. We are looking at a top 5 WWE superstar of all time. And I understand, like, you have the Austins, you have the Rocks, you have the Cena, but just nobody capulates the audience as Roman Reigns. No one tells a story as good as Roman Reigns. Him pointing out to CM Punk where he's holding the championship and Roman's walking out, that small detail to conduct such an amazing story, right? Also, Chris Hero was supposed to be part of the Shield when CM Punk first pitched it. So there's already a disdain between Roman and Punk. I mean, honestly, if Roman shows up just a bit more and we get these two on Raw almost like every other week, I'm sold, man. Really, this is going to be the night 2 main event. And I agree with Jordy. I do think Roman Reigns is going to win. Plus, Punk should turn heel.
No doubt, man. And I'm glad we're all in agreement to that as well. Like, it's just one of those things that you kind of really got to appreciate and not overcomplicate, man. This is what makes Mania big time. Do want to get through a couple comments. We got number 1 Superfly saying the segment between Roman and Punk was fire. I still can't believe they were feuding over being Zebros and Zootopia. Just kidding, but did notice that those two were wearing black and white as a reference? I don't know if it was a reference. I just think that's like low key sure. Roman's like attire. He'd be wearing black, white, and red.
He was wearing like a fairly new T-shirt, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yes.
OTC one, yeah.
Yeah.
We got Mary in the building saying, I'm picking you because I hate you. And then he also said, I gave you my company. I gave you a company to come back to. Such
good lines.
Mm-hmm. He was spitting last night, man.
True,
so
absolutely.
It was great to see, man. But hey, that is all the time we do have today. Thank you guys in the comments. Thank you, Jordy and Dez, per usual. We'll be back on the daily, same time tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday. It is a news day. Should be a good news day, hopefully, because pro wrestling, there's something happening every single day. Also, if you're not doing anything tonight, we will be on directly after NXT. Myself, I will be hosting with Drizzy and Davis, NXT Off the Air. We'll be talking about everything that goes on in NXT tonight. So make sure you don't miss it. Y'all take care, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.